comment and the pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Please hold your comments to 5 minutes. Yes.
Munchie, good morning. I just want some clarification on a comment that was made a couple weeks ago in this meeting. The head of your HR department had said that the County Board of Supervisors makes exemptions to ordinances all the time. And when I heard that comment, it kind of raised the hairs on the back of my neck, and I thought, interesting. Once an ordinance is crafted and voted upon and put into county procedure, what set of circumstances would there be with industrial solar to grant an exemption?
Well, I can't answer that. Do you, Bill?
No. I don't know why we would grant any exemption to it, but
Okay, so as a follow-up question, is there a set criteria that the board goes by when you're going to grant an exemption to an ordinance?
well, I would guess there would be. I would think, but
I don't think it's
I don't
ever-
know that the board's ever granted exemptions.
Okay, then why was that
For an
comment made a couple weeks ago?
I don't know.
And most of it happens.
Probably didn't search you guys up.
You think
There's
she'd
no
do that
existence.
deliberately? I don't think so. I'd like an honest answer though, because to me, that leaves the door wide open for industrial solar if they would come to this board and apply for an exemption.
I wouldn't have any reason to give them an exemption.
No, I wouldn't either.
So then would you consider putting a little bit more teeth into the ordinance and say no exemptions allowed?
That'd be something we should look at. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Okay.
But you also wanna think, you might wanna change something else that
Right.
you agree with.
Right.
You'd have to be careful how you worded that. I'm not.
Well,
an
and I
attorney, so
understand
can't
that
do
every situation is individual, but when she made that comment, I thought, oh, so we go to all this work of crafting an ordinance and get public opinion, have your lawyer review it and everything. We can still have a company come into Tama County and request an exemption?
There again, I'm not sure about that one.
So should that be in that ordinance then
Yeah,
maybe?
That's something we should talk about. We'll look into it. That's why we're getting public comment. That's why we're looking at
Yeah.
the ordinance. That's
And
why.
the reason why I bring this up is I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to make it to that first public meeting.
Yeah.
But there is a clause in the draft, I think it's under section 1A, that also disturbs me. And I think that really needs to be reviewed.
Number 1A.
1A, requirements of this ordinance shall apply only to all utility-scale solar energy systems proposed after the effective date of this ordinance. Any lawyer worth their salt would have a field day with that clause for intense renewable.
If you change it to
That's-
permitted instead of proposed, that
Yes.
might be a little more clear.
Or take that clause out entirely.
Yeah, I looked at a couple other ordinances, and one of them had in there those and anything that hadn't been started,
Yeah, but
the only thing that would be exempt from that would be anything that was already existing, built.
Built,
Built.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, to me, that needs to be in black and white, because any lawyer would have a field day with that clause. They've got the easement signed. I take it a permit has not come across your desks yet?
No.
Okay, to me,
It
that
won't,
need,
Lynn, as long as we're working on this ordinance, there'll be no action taken.
But she is right, the wording's a little worrisome, especially
Well,
since
proposed,
you don't say
yeah.
proposed to you guys or
Proposed.
proposed to the board or
Yeah.
officially proposed. Technically, it's been proposed because they're proposing it to all the people that are signing these easements.
Yeah.
We can.
That definitely needs to be changed, because like I said, any lawyer would see that in black and white and say, well, that doesn't apply to us. Okay, thank you.
Now, this is just a draft, you know, it's not,
I realize that.
etched in stone.
I'm just calling it to your attention.
I bet, well, thank you.
For the public hearing, will you guys, like, if people write in their comments, if they can't make it, would you guys read those publicly or have them read publicly at the meeting, if there's time?
If we have time,
Okay.
we could, I suppose.
Just so everyone else can hear what those people are hoping for.
For our time lot, it's gonna be from 6 to 7:30. And, if we need to have another gathering, we will.
Will the board's lawyer be present for that hearing?
I don't know.
Can the board issue an invitation to him?
It costs us money.
Oh, we could,
Yeah.
but, I don't know if we will or not.
You don't feel he needs to be there?
I think what we need to do, Lynn, is go through this, just like you did this morning. I got questions about this, I don't like this, and if there's anybody else who has the same complaints or other ideas, mark it down, scratch it down, and then maybe talk to the attorney and, see. I don't think anybody said anything, Carlton, about coming down, have they?
No, not to my knowledge.
But he's the one that drafted it, so if you have the changes or suggestions, are you just going to give them to him to fill in and make the changes? Or just, since we didn't really have a board, local board working on the draft, and he did it, but he's not gonna be there, I didn't know how we were gonna get those suggestions compiled and articulated.
Yeah, I'm not sure how it's gonna be, but we're gonna try to appease everyone, and I don't know how that's gonna work.
It's almost impossible to be different.
You can't please
Yeah.
everybody, but we're gonna, that's why we're doing this, so everybody has a chance to voice their opinion. We'll run it by the attorney that says yes or no, because that's what we gotta do.
Are you gonna run it past the Tama County attorney?
Probably not.
Why not?
Well, he hasn't been involved, Richard.
No.
Okay, I realize that, but, the Tama County taxpayers pay for a county attorney to give his opinion to you guys. And we feel like you should be using him more than you have. So, that's just my opinion.
But he's more of a prosecuting attorney than he is civil attorney,
But other counties have the county attorney sitting at every board meeting,
but that's other counties.
okay?
But, we can suggest it to him, but I don't know what kind of response we're gonna get.
Probably the worst thing you can happen is have two attorneys, because they're never gonna agree.
Oh, that's for sure. Might start a fight right then and there.
Will it need to go before the zoning commission before you send it on to your attorneys? It doesn't have to go through the zoning commission?
No.
Okay.
And you don't want it to? Just because it doesn't have to, you don't want it to? Why do we have that zoning commission then? What do you want them to do? Everything but solar and wind? What do you see their role as then, if you don't want to involve them at all?
This basically was an option for us to be able to get this solar ordinance passed quicker.
And you thought they would hold you up instead of support you?
I don't know if they would have or not.
So was
This
this
was
your
an
guys'
option,
decision
so-
not to include them, or did the lawyers say, let's just do this on our own and not include them? I just didn't know where that decision was coming from, or was it a group decision?
Basically a group decision.
A group meaning you three and Mr. Sammons?
Yes.
Well, we appreciate you being able to move quicker. I mean, this is something we asked for a year ago concerning wind. And we haven't seen any action there for a year. So, for me, I appreciate the fact you're willing to get moving on solar ordinances concerning industrial level. You know, I don't care, I mean, I was on the drive down to Mount Pleasant yesterday and noticed, you know, you saw solar panels here at this farm, at that farm. I have no problem with that. But we also drove past a couple places where it was just solid solar panels. I'm thankful you guys are moving as quick as you are to stop that type of invasion in Tama County. So, thank you.
Just to reiterate, what Lynn had suggested, you know, I can see a scenario where Ted Renewables could come to you and say, you know, we've gotten some ordinances signed, and during that time period, there was nothing at all on the books for Tama County for industrial. And if you don't approve us, we're gonna sue you. And I know what you guys think about lawfare. It seems like you start shaking in your boots when anybody suggests they're gonna sue you. And so I also think the language needs to be rock solid.
Yeah.
That, you know, however far back you need to go in time, and just make it so clear that even if a project has gained easements, that's still covered by this ordinance.
I think it needs to be in black and white.
We'll definitely look at it. I mean, that's something
No,
that
I know
makes
you
sense.
will. I know you will. I'm just concerned that, you know, they've already started this process and we don't have anything definite in this county. And I don't know if any of you have ever been called into a court of law, but I have. And believe me, those lawyers pounce on every word. So that language in that ordinance has to be very precise, very clear, very black and white.
I don't see why we wouldn't take it to Carlton. I mean, he's the one who drafted it.
Yeah.
I would think that would be, you know, when it's all said and done, I mean, nothing's gonna get
But
passed
don't-
until he looks at it, I would guess.
Kurt, don't you think it would be to his advantage to hear what the people are saying?
I don't see why he couldn't be there.
I
but
mean, I
I'd
feel that he needs to hear people's concerns, you know. If he is going to be the one that is going to be wording this ordinance, I think he needs to hear what the people are saying, what their concerns are. He needs to be present at these public hearings.
He was.
And I'm sure he'll wanna be compensated for his time. Hopefully there's money in the
Well,
budget
he's-
to do that, but, I mean,
We requested it, it would probably, it might not even be him, because he's right in the middle of retirement,
wonderful,
and he's battling some cancer issues, so
I see.
doing that kind of stuff, so I don't know if it'd even be him,
I don't know either.
But I don't see why somebody can't be there.
Whoever is the lawyer that is crafting this ordinance should be present at these hearings. They need to hear firsthand what people are saying, what their concerns are, what their needs are. Since he's the one that's crafting the ordinance, he needs to be there, or she, right? Whoever that is.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Okay.
Could I ask, after the public hearing, the ordinance will be updated for the public to look at it again before the next public hearing? Or what is the procedure that the people or the public can see what you've done as far as updating the ordinance or the possible ordinance?
I would think we'll probably try to get it updated, yes. Depending on how fast our next meeting is, but I don't know
I mean, it
how soon we
definitely,
think.
it definitely needs to be updated before you have another public hearing.
Publish it
so
on your
that
website.
we know what the changes were and that, you know, the public is
Was accepted.
informed.
Yeah. Publish it on the website so people can
Yeah.
see the updated ordinance and have something to go by before the next meeting.
What is the update on technology for the room?
I have not
Not
heard anything
gonna-
on.
It's not gonna happen. You guys, there's just too much opposing, people opposing it.
Opposing getting live streaming in here? Who's opposing it?
People that are involved on approving it.
Oh, you mean like the people sitting in front of us?
Pretty much, and another one.
Oh.
It's quiet.
Yep,
Yeah.
might as well be quiet. No point in talking
It's good
anymore.
I guess I'm gonna,
Yeah.
I'm gonna open up this can of worms. What are the objections? Please, I mean, be honest.
You guys want it.
What, well,
A little honesty, thank you.
I didn't come to this till late in the game. What are the objections? Be honest.
My personal, I don't have an objection, and I think we talked about this, a little earlier. Kurt said something about $1,000 to put a system in. I would have been okay with that,
Okay,
but, I think what quotes we got were closer to $10,000.
So if
So
I
we-
submit a
so
quote for
we
1,000,
can-
could that work?
Excuse me?
Okay.
So we can record everything, keep track of everything. And it would cost us quite a bit of money. I think, you know, don't we still have a lawsuit against us? And there's still a pending lawsuit?
okay.
Not against the Board of Supervisors. It concerns
against-
the Board of Adjustment.
And that's part of the county.
That's
Right.
still.
Which you're
open.
actually suing us.
So, to me, I hate to spend $10,000 and then still be fighting lawsuits. $1,000, like Kurt suggested, he thought would be enough.
I mean,
I would be okay with that. $10,000, I'm not so sure about Richard.
we gave info to Kurt concerning a gentleman from Belle Plaine who's doing all this technical type of work, setting up Iowa County. And he does that kind of work. And I'll guarantee you, he would not cost $10,000. It would be appreciated if you guys would at least check with that person and see what the cost would be. So, and as far as the lawsuit, I haven't heard anything else going on right now either. There's been no response from your side. So,
Our side.
yeah, we're waiting for the court to make a decision.
The other attorney.
Court system doesn't us.
Yeah, well, the other attorney, I'm not sure, I know that
Mhm.
they're waiting on our
Yeah.
attorney's response.
Yeah.
From the attorney, the other attorney,
Okay.
the fourth or fifth, whichever one it is, I don't even know exactly what his name is.
Because the last understanding was we were waiting for the court
Yes,
to make
you
a
are.
decision on something.
Yep, and you're waiting on that, response from him right now, I think.
Right.
So hopefully they got that taken care of last week.
But I don't have any trouble, spending some money, but I don't wanna spend $10,000.
No, I
on-
don't think,
in-
I agree with you, Dan. You know.
I just hate to spend the county's money that way.
Mhm.
You guys are reporting everything, everybody's for years been knowing what's been going on, we're not trying to hide anything. But to spend, and Kurt said $1,000, yeah, so I go along with that.
Mhm.
We heard later, 10,000, I'm not so sure I wanna spend the county's money.
Who said 10,000? Where'd that come from?
Me, because of Granicus, that's who we were looking at to do the system. Because the attorney told us we don't need to be doing just a little system, we need to be protected. Because we have to document everything, keep everything for years, we have to buy a server, so that's where the money comes
So
from.
there seems to be a lot of discouragement, or between what she's saying, disparity between what you're saying and what that what we're finding out there as far as $1,000, that could get a system
Well,
in place.
right, so, but you're on the, you don't well, okay, so let me explain this to you. It sounds great that you can put $1,000 system in, that's fabulous. The first time you mess up, make a mistake, don't have record, then we're in trouble. So our side is, we have to make sure we do it properly. The attorney has made a recommendation, we do not do the $1,000 system. We get somebody to do it for us, and then, because you also have to have somebody moderating, storing the information, things like that, so that's where that comes from.
Yeah.
That's not anything that we don't, I mean, yeah, it would be great to put $1,000 system in, but what are you gonna do with all that documentation? If you're recording it, you have to store it, and we have to do it forever.
Tammy,
Mhm.
he's not concerned at all that you're not documenting anything now? I
We
mean,
don't-
you have no record, no
Sure
video
we do.
record now?
Sure we do,
Wait,
so
okay.
the Iowa code says.
Oh, okay, but,
The
so
code
as
says-
long as you're doing this, why is he so concerned about keeping the video record? If you don't have any video
If you're
record
gonna-
now,
If you're gonna do it, you need to do it properly.
How are the other 20, 30 counties doing it then? Are they doing this $10,000 way?
A lot of them use Granicus. Cause I sent out a request to all my HR people, what do you guys use, what are you guys using, for your systems, and most of them are using Granicus, so. And it's a larger company, but it's a web-based, so, but the issue, we don't have to do it, so if we're gonna do it right. Because we don't have to do it, but we need to make sure we do it properly. Granicus sounds like a great company, but right now, $10,000 is a lot of money, and then not only that, there'll be annual fees on top of that too, that we'll be paying. So, it'll be long-term.
Aside from the live streaming issue, can we at least get the room updated for audio? Because it is still hard to hear a lot of people when there's no microphones and speakers in here. And I mean, that's kind of a similar issue, but it could be totally separate, just to get some audio equipment in here. A little speaker stand, a couple microphones, could we work on that? That'd be in the,
Never been brought up to me, I mean, we haven't talked about that. I was really working on the audio, or the video and stuff, so then the audio would be there too, with that little system, but.
Has Kurt shared with you the information about the gentleman from Belle Plaine? Who,
No.
I've shared general information with them, and
Okay,
it's just not gonna fly.
but I know that gentleman is setting up info for Iowa County, he's
Oh,
setting up
okay.
a program for them, so.
I know Marshall County uses that bee, or the owl, I mean, and it's zooming, it's a portable one, and it's no $10,000, but it's not my decision.
So Tammy, I'm just curious, how many, you said your other HR people in your other counties,
Mm-hmm.
how many of those other counties do have a good live feed? Quite a few of them?
There's about
There's-
22.
Yeah, there's not a lot. There's not a lot. Maybe your
22?
bigger counties, Polk, Lynn, Johnson, but a lot of the other counties don't. Most counties don't. So out of 99 counties, what'd you say, 22?
22, I thought it was last
Yeah,
time.
out of 99.
well,
so-
Benton is more our size, what do they do? Did you talk to them? Tammy?
No.
They're more
They
our
have-
size.
Yeah, they have, Marshall County is, I mean, they're a little bit bigger too, but not much, but they both have the owl deal.
And are they terrified that they don't have their documentation securely stored in the cloud?
Apparently not.
Tammy, you said we'd have to buy a new server, you don't have a current server?
Our server, well, we're in the process of replacing our servers right now.
So why don't you upgrade all at once?
Would that be a dedicated server?
Yeah,
Yes.
cause it'd be forever.
Yes.
We'd be storing that stuff, so.
So why don't you upgrade it all at once? Instead of piecemealing it.
I'm sure when they decide what they wanna do, we will, the board. Thank you.
I mean, the world's gonna come to where things are zoomed and everything like that. So instead of waiting for the prices to get higher, why wouldn't you, I mean, it's
also think it's important to plan for the future, because that's how the society is going. I know 10 grand is a lot of money, but, I think with the issues that Tama County is facing right now, I think it's really important that people are informed and they know what's going on. To me, it's a no-brainer, but I'm not sitting on the board.
But to me, we just keep getting answers as to why we can't, and nobody wants to say, you know, here we can do this. We're spending a lot of time on the negativity part of it. And there's more answers as to why we can't, as to, this is what we got, this is what we can get. We're gonna upgrade it anyways, let's just put it in the budget.
When you say people can watch it with ours, this is citizen volunteering to do this. It shouldn't be a citizen-led thing to get video up, and then it's not, you know, linked by the county. It's not promoted by the county, as it shouldn't be, because it's this, you know, volunteer video. But a lot of people out there don't know that it is available. And I mean, there are a lot of citizens that travel for the winter. There are a lot of citizens that can't get out because they're in nursing homes or retirement homes. You know, it just feels like, you know, oh, they're doing it, so we don't have to actually put any effort into being transparent and having the video record of it.
And I'm not dishing you videoing it, but I get a lot of comments that you can't hear it.
Because there's no audio in here.
Well, we keep pretty good track of minutes, I think, you know, it's everything that happens here.
But you don't post the full minutes. People have to email in to get a full
But you
list
can
of the
get them.
minutes.
You can get them.
Right, but I mean, they're not.
If it's really that important, you can get them.
Right.
It's not hidden from you.
I don't get very many requests for minutes.
Well, and people might not know that full minutes are available because all you guys post in the newspaper, because of cost, is that very small blurb. And then what's posted on the website is some middle version, and then you could only get the full minutes if you email. So you're not making it easy for people to know that that's even available, that there's more going on than what's online and what's in the newspaper.
I think if they were really concerned, they'd be calling Laura and asking for more detailed minutes, and you're not getting that, Laura.
No.
Okay, here's what's happening, guys. I mean, I'm up in, Geneseo Township. What's happening is the farmers are coming to me, asking me what's going on. So then they're getting secondhand information from me. They shouldn't ask me, I might have a slander. They should know what's going on. And most of them are pretty tech savvy. They would be listening to it, either if it was live streamed or if it was on Zoom. I mean, I think we need live stream at the least. But they're coming to me. And I'm sure other people here, maybe they're coming to them, but, because they're busy, they don't have time to come down, they're watching their cows, or I don't know, the stuff that's going on. And they would be in their tractor, they would be listening to this. I don't know about the town people, all I know is the country people, and, and so they come to me and ask, well, we didn't know this, and what's going on, and this and that, and I shouldn't be the one to have to tell them that. And so
Invite them to come down.
you say, well, they don't know that, they maybe don't even know how to, I don't know, but,
Just invite them to come down.
well, I have invited a lot, and they're really interested, but they're not gonna come, it's half an hour, like I said, I can go to Waterloo twice in the time it takes me to get down here. You're really not being very respectful to the public, and I'm talking about just the rural farmers, I don't know about the city people, but, yeah, I'm just, even live streaming, they could watch it. Well, I've thrown in my plug for that, because I do get approached by, I won't even say who, but there's some pretty big farmers there, they're talking to me, and I don't feel like I should be the one, I'm not on the board.
Oh, I'll say it again, invite them to come down.
Well, I have,
Okay.
they're busy.
Well,
Yeah,
I
some
mean,
people
I'm
work.
busy, I shouldn't even be here.
Karen, did you have something?
Well, first off, I concur with what Carolyn just had to say, but more than that, this group has spent the whole last over a year now researching where do we get our information that we we get it out of the Des Moines Register and the Waterloo Courier and the Cedar Rapids Gazette and the Marshalltown Times-Republican, we get it out of all these other newspapers. Do you guys realize that most people in Tama County don't even know anything about the solar coming in? Which is exactly what happened with the wind. Nobody knew anything about it. And I feel like we've just spent a year researching, investigating, and then educating you guys about something that you signed up for. Probably, I'm gonna guess now, about 2018, 17, when, and Dan, I know you were new, Bill, you weren't even there, Kurt, you weren't even there, so it's gonna fall back on the people that are saying they don't want anything publicized. That's not the three of you, I do not believe, I don't think any of us believe that. So it's wrong that we are doing all this researching for you, you found it out now, you hear it, we repeat it time after time, you know it now, but you know what? We're still having to tell people, and the biggest part of this county and the towns, and I've said it probably 6 months ago, this ought to be news in this county, this town, all these towns, and it should be, all these townspeople, all the mayors, the city councils, they should be publicizing the fact that all this crap is coming in and taking over agriculture, water, and land, and food. They ought to know that. It should not get to the point where it's gonna be too late, which is what you guys keep telling us about the turbine stuff. It's too late. Am I mad? Yes, because damn it, we need to have agriculture. And, I mean, go south a little ways. I was just down there yesterday. Just go south. Oh my gosh, look at all the dust. This is April. I don't know. Anyway, the end.
Thanks, Gary.
Okay,
I got a quick comment.
Real quick.
Real quick. I agree with Dan, I don't like the idea of spending $10,000. But I must remind you, in the audit this last year, Tama County spent $10,000 on sales tax, which was not a necessary expenditure. And just want to remind you of that. So.
okay, thank you, Rick. Okay, we'll start our regular meeting, call to order. I have a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Engineer, Jesse.
Jesse, how you doing?
Doing good, how about you guys? So. And this down to you guys. Let's see, first, for some construction projects that are coming up, specifically the Toledo Bridge project, we have finally gotten in contact with utilities. They are scheduled to come in tomorrow to remove that utility off of the bridge. We're trying to get in contact with the contractor then to see when they're planning on coming in, moving forward with that bridge project. And with that project, until we can have Gary in the meantime as an interim engineer, but the DOT kind of like someone that's in the office full time to be able to kind of sign off and okay pay vouchers. So with that, we have Calvin Burns as the project engineer that will sign off as the project engineer. They just want a representative of Tama County that will also say, yes, we agree with these quantities. The DOT recommends without a engineer in the office full-time that it's the assistant to the engineer, which would be myself. So we just needed it okay with the board that you guys are okay with having myself sign off until, if it gets a day close to when Gary's in, we can have Gary sign it, but kind of in the meantime, have me sign it until we find a full-time engineer.
You're authorized to do that.
Yep, the DOT said that it is okay on their end, to have that done.
All right. So we need a
That
motion.
okay. Could I have a motion to approve Jesse to sign off on the bridge project for the DOT?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Been moved and seconded to approve Jesse to sign off on the Tama County bridge over here for construction. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
What's the deal with that amber light thing?
Yeah, so with that, we'll go to that next. I must have misplaced the paperwork. It's not here. I can bring that back up here in a little bit, once I'm done here. But so with that, up on
on Peyton Road and Highway V37, at that intersection, I'm not familiar with that intersection, but Lyle had applied for some money to add an amber light that would be facing west for traffic turning off of Peyton Road, primarily going north. There'll be a radar unit to the south of the intersection to detect when traffic is coming from the south heading north, just to warn drivers that there is traffic approaching the intersection. I'm assuming there must have been a history of an accident history at that intersection.
Two accidents there.
So it is money that we got from the state then to have this, to pay for the units themselves. Because of what the money's coming from, we have to pay for the installation of it, but the units themselves will be covered with this, safety improvement money. So once I bring that paper back up, and we'll have Bill and Laura sign that, and then, I will send it back to the DOT, and then they have to sign it, and then it should get back, and then now I can go ahead and order those lights that Lyle has a quote on, and then they'll send it, we'll get installed, and once we pay for that out of our budget, we will send it to the DOT for reimbursement for those lights.
Yes,
And everything.
it's not a good intersection.
Just a couple of years ago, there was
I really don't remember of
I think
any,
it
but
was.
there definitely is not a good intersection coming from the south. Not a bad idea.
So then we would just need a motion and a second to sign that
We
paperwork.
need a motion on that, too.
Mhm.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, so we moved and seconded,
I'll second.
okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And I'll bring that paper back up. Once I leave here, I'll go grab it and I'll bring it right back up.
Okay.
Next, contract rock hauling is still going on. Sounds like after talking to Tim this morning, we kind of just have a little bit left that'll be pulled out of the Garrison quarry. Should be done by the end of the day tomorrow. If you guys have your maps, so that'd be section 5 and 6, a little bit of both that needs done there. And then they'll be moving down on the map, section 9 will be around the Chelsea area, with the intersection of V18 south of 30 being closed. We're anticipating a little bit more traffic on, I think it's 340th Street there. I think they call it Seven Hills. We're expecting a little bit more traffic there, so that's one of the roads that was scheduled to get contract rock. Want to kind of get some rock on that before traffic picks up too much down there. So that, all the rock in the southern part there will be coming out of Malcolm as well.
I appreciate that, the hauling gravel up south of town, and it's all been, that Malcolm Rock, it's just a whole lot better.
Yeah. Then we got blades, they're out running their normal blade routes. We have our trucks hauling on C Avenue between 146, or Highway 146 and E49, and then also on G Avenue from E69 to E49, as well as spot rocking troubled areas throughout the county. That grade restoration I talked about last week on K Avenue will start today. Sounds like that'll be closed right around the 200th Street area. Then Denco moved in last week. They've completed E29, it sounds like, from their email to me. They moved to D65, and it sounds like they got just under half done on D65 heading west. Kind of about the Dinsdale area, it sounds. They'll go Dinsdale west for the rest of it. And then once they're done with that, they'll move over to V18 between Highway 8 and Cloutier. And then I have a utility permit here for Bill as well. It's from Alliant Energy. It's been signed by Gary, so.
Oh, okay. What we got, 10th? There you go.
Alright, thank you.
As long as it's in, we're good.
And that is all that I have. You guys have anything?
Okay.
Thanks, Jeff.
Jesse?
Yep, thank you.
Tammy?
I got nothing.
Nothing?
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Can I have a motion to approve claims?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the claims, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thanks, Laura.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then we need to set a date for our county budget hearing.
That's something I put on there. Next Monday, the 17th, you're having your max levy hearing, which is you're required to do, and we can
What,
have,
next Monday?
next Monday, the 17th. And that's a hearing about your max levy. If it's higher or lower than last year, you have to have a hearing and let the public know that. 10 days after that, you can have your regular budget hearing, so that would be April 27th. The deadline is April 30th or March 1st, because the 30th is on a weekend. So I would like to propose we have the meeting on April 27th, which is a Thursday, at 8:30 in the morning. Have the public hearing for your fiscal year 24 budget.
Okay. Can I have a motion to,
I'll make that motion.
okay, been
I'll second.
moved and seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
And now we need to set a new date for our solar public meeting.
Yeah, I put that on there just to make it official. We kind of did it last week unofficially because of the weather, so we didn't have time to give the 24-hour notice to a meeting for that to let people know. So I just would like you guys to officially set that hearing, reset that hearing.
On the 25th.
On the
Yes,
25th at
yes.
6 o'clock.
6 to 7:30 at the Reining Center is what you had on the last one.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we change the meeting until the 25th of April, 6 to 7:30 at the Reining Center.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to set the meeting for the 25th, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Okay. Anybody have anything
Good.
else?
We had just briefly talked about, setting a tentative date for a second one that you could always cancel, just in case of weather again. When you have to cancel it and then get that public notice out, we had to wait 3 weeks for this one. If you set another one for like 2 weeks later, and then if we don't need it, we don't need it, but she could have it posted in the paper ahead of time. So we would have that to fall back on rather than, or a week later, however quickly you think.
You were already
Mr.
thinking about
Samuels
having a
could do
second
it.
meeting anyway.
So just have it set, have the notice out, be ready to go, and then if the weather comes up or you don't need it, you can always cancel it, but that waiting 3 weeks just for public notice, that slows down this process that we're trying to speed along.
Yeah, and just in case you decide to cancel that meeting, it'll be easier to cancel than to try and wait to reschedule.
How long do you gotta wait between them, do you know?
No, I don't think
There's
there's no
no
limit as,
time
you can
limit
have
on
them
that.
one day after another if you want, or a week or a month after them, so.
I think if you did one day after another, there might be a little public outcry for
Yeah,
scheduling.
there would be, but they can do that,
Well, I
yeah.
think Lynn did 2 days apart, and there was a lot of uproar about that.
Complaining, yeah.
But I'd say a week apart.
But how long will it
What's
take a
it-
lawyer to update that ordinance then? To draft a second one?
Well, he drafted the whole thing
Should
in
be
a
able to
week,
schedule a
so.
week later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was,
So a week should be sufficient
We have to
time
have
for
a
him to
motion.
do that?
You can reconsider the motion you already had. if you
Yeah,
want to,
yep.
And then vote on the change.
I'll make a motion that we set a date for the second one a week after the first.
Okay.
May 2nd?
May 2nd.
It's a Tuesday?
Yeah, we will, May 2nd, let's see, today is, yeah, we've got time, because today's the 10th. So, the 27th was on a Thursday, so do you wanna do it on May, you wanna keep it on a Thursday? Or the 25th? I've got the
It's a
wrong.
Tuesday.
Yeah, we got that budget hearing.
25th is on a Tuesday.
Yeah, so that would be May 2nd, we would have time to get it to the paper.
Well, would that give Carlton enough time though to look things over and digest all the?
He supposedly wrote this whole thing in a week.
In less than a week, 4 days.
You know, the changes,
What?
he hasn't seen any of the changes that we suggested.
That's a pretty short time limit.
Well, why don't we just have him, or somebody from the deal come to the first meeting then?
Well, still, it's not gonna change the time factor from the time he gets the information, the time he gets him compliant.
So are you saying he did not write this after getting all the comments? Cause before you said he didn't write it until after all the comments came in and it got posted 4 days later.
He wrote the whole thing in a week.
I didn't believe that when you said it.
That's what we were told. He wrote that whole thing in a week.
We
He
sent
would,
him the information
Yes.
that we got.
right.
Laura?
Mhm.
Okay,
And so
that's it.
that was in a week. He wrote the whole thing. He should be able to look at our changes and agree
Well, I
if
don't
he's
know
gonna
what the
put
schedule
in.
is, Janet.
And
He's got people working for him.
And he only works part-time, so, yeah.
Yeah,
Cause you
I
said he
think-
might have all of his underlings doing it anyway because he's gonna be retiring.
If you wanna make it 2 weeks, that'd be the 9th.
I would just wait till you get the stuff back from Carlton and then set the meeting, because you don't know when you're gonna get it from him, and then you don't wanna rush him if he doesn't have it
You can always
done.
cancel the meeting.
We have to
Then we'll
rechange
basically wait
everything
until June.
again.
There needs to be a timeline to get this
No.
done.
We'll have to wait till June, but I think go ahead, a couple weeks. That's what he got.
I mean, to set a second meeting,
Oh,
if you wait till after the changes come, by the time you put it in the
Notice,
newspaper,
it's gonna be
Mhm.
3
we're talking
weeks.
June.
Mhm.
So,
yeah,
wait 2 weeks, that should give him plenty of
I
time.
think a couple weeks.
Okay, May 9th instead of the 2nd?
That's just my opinion. I don't know. Kurt, maybe you're not happy with that, I don't know.
I just want this shit over.
Well, this shit's gonna go on for a while, so I'll get used to it.
Yeah, they've had to look at us for a year already, so,
Nah, I'm not worried about that.
okay.
It's just to get this ordinance over, whichever
Yeah.
they wanted.
Yeah, we all wanna get it taken care of, so let's get it
That's
done.
right. With all like, the bigger and better things.
Yes.
Corn planting.
We can sure agree to that.
We all have the
We
same
wanna
goal in mind.
Set the 9th then? It's 2 weeks.
I think that would be better, don't you, Rich?
That'd be fair, more fair,
Yeah, I think so.
give them plenty of time.
Thank you.
Do we need a
6.
motion to do that, or just,
So let's just have a motion to revisit that, to rescind the first motion and do a second motion setting both hearings.
set both of them at the same time,
Mhm.
in the same motion?
Mm-hmm.
You wanna do that, Kurt?
Want to rescind it, so we can redo it?
I'd love to.
Okay.
I'll resend it.
One second?
Oh, sure.
Okay. Been moved and seconded to rescind the first motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, now we need a motion to set the 25th at 6 o'clock, and then the 9th of May for a second meeting at 6.
You wanna do that again, Kurt?
Can I have a motion? Yeah, we gotta do a motion.
Yeah, you got a motion, I'll make that motion.
Okay.
All right, I'll second it.
Can you make it pending writing center, because we don't know.
That's true.
I will
We don't
call
know
and
if we
check.
need the writing center, so as long as we can get the writing center.
Yep, I'll
Yeah,
call right away
okay.
after the meeting,
Yeah.
yep.
So I was gonna say, we don't wanna set it and not have anywhere to have it,
Mm-hmm, yep.
Yeah.
so.
Oh, we're good, sure good for the 25th.
Yeah, we know we got the 25th there. So,
Okay. Anybody else have anything else?
okay, did we move and second that?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Okay. I'll adjourn you at 9:48.
Okay,
Thanks, Laura.
Mm-hmm.
better write that one in.
Oh, yeah. Go like this.
I'm gonna go grab a phone book. I'll call the writing center.
Okay.
Is it bad?
Okay,
Ordinances.
I know where it is.
Union County, wanna put in our regulations. It's the one that's in Lynn's concerned about. One of those two tags in there. That's why. I've looked at my file, I thought I had you, and they did both together.
They got filed one, something like that, I'm not sure.
Well, mine
For
is.
changing the minutes for how you state who is publicly here.
I'm sorry.
Thank you for changing the minutes
Oh,
this week
yes.
for how,
Yes, you're
how you going
welcome.
forward.
Yep, I'm glad somebody brought it to my attention.
Well, you're right, those first few weeks it was
Yeah, the first few
mostly
weeks it
all.
was, and then I just never changed out here.
Oh, that's why. Oh,
There's,
okay.
so you have to push
So nothing like this.
we got in trouble, got scolded.
Sign an easement
So after that, we were.
can be done without going.
Yeah, they
We're
don't
not
have
being
to.
held to
Oh, I
our
remember.
solar.
I am not.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We don't have anybody.
I was all the way. We were down there but yes, he was out of the way. Why would you?
Oh, I'm pretty sure they don't want her to go to. Good morning. How are you?